Hi everyone, welcome to Our Two Cents. I'm your host, Clinton Smith. I'm here with our president and financial advisor at GCES, Galen Barterstock. Galen, another great day, I presume?
Fantastic day. How are you?
I'm doing good. Guys, we couldn't be more excited. This is our 7th trip out here to record these show episodes. And we are now on our 42nd episode, which is actually the year of age in between you and me. So that's how we can make it seem important.
Yeah.
Remodeling nightmares is what we're going to talk about today. We are under so much construction right now, guys. We literally, to come out here, we had to find shoes out of storage to pack to come here because we're remodeling in so many places right now. So we have our house that's under a remodel right now. We're remodeling our 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. It should be finishing up while we're out here recording this. Thank you, Warren. Did such a great job at our house. It looks amazing. We're excited to come back to it. We're also under construction at our old office. We're under construction in one of our rentals. We're also under construction in our new office on multiple floors in multiple ways. So it has been a whirlwind of remodeling nightmares. And these are just things, it's no fault to the contractor, it's just remodeling is costly.
Remodeling is very costly, and it's not just what we're remodeling right this very second. We've been under a remodel for 13 years with our house. So one of the things is when you buy, a fixer-upper and you think you can do all this stuff yourself, the reality comes that, well, no, you can't, because we learned that really quick we have a lot of ideas of what we want to get done, but we're not really the ones that are going to handle doing it.
We are really great at picking out tile and writing the check. We are not good at making it all happen. The one time, so I remember this, it was whenever we first started remodeling our bedrooms and bathrooms. We did our bedrooms and bathrooms when we first moved into our house. I'm sure people can relate to this story. So Galen and I had just moved into our house. It was our first house in Indiana, Pennsylvania. It's a Frank Lloyd Wright house with a flat roof, Vermont slate floors, and wood paneling. The whole house looked like it was covered in wood paneling. So it was really dated when we moved in, but I know we were there for maybe a week, and there's a pool, and it was our first time having a pool. We had our family over. We were so excited. And while we're all out in the pool with everyone, our water got shut off. Do you remember why?
I imagine because the people before us didn't pay their bill and it got transferred over. Which is common,
Well, I mean, other than the fact that it was included in escrow for us purchasing the house, they never ended up paying it from the escrow account. And in the end, they shut off our water. Us not knowing anything about it and being so new in the house, we didn't even know which way the handles would turn whenever you were turning it on to hot or cold. So I am actually the reason for it. I was in our bedroom, bathroom, our bathroom, like in our master suite. I turned them up all the way up, and then went back out to the pool and said, "Hey, our water shut off."
And then fast forward, and I believe it was the guest room, bathroom in the hallway, because it was just flooded. There was water everywhere. And of course they had about 1.5 to 2-inch thick shag carpeting that covered the bedrooms and the bathrooms. And they had a lot of dogs, I believe a Saint Bernard. And it smelled horrible, so we had to dive right into construction because we did it to ourselves. And
it smelled like a dog. It smelled like a Saint Bernard because of all the moisture. It ruined stuff, but we flooded our house within the first week of living there in our first house. And that's when we went under construction in our bedrooms and bathrooms. And we made some choices that were not some sound choices, but we've learned a lot of things over the years in being in construction. And we're going to share some of those tips and tricks and things to look out for with you guys today in our episode. And that's why today we're talking about remodeling on Elm Street, because it can be a nightmare.
If it can happen, it's going to happen. That's the one thing that I've learned to go with the flow with. And, relating all of this back to finance, it is one of the biggest questions I get is, can I take money out to remodel? And again, It's your money, of course you can, but people want to know, can I afford to do this? You know, can I have kitchens and bathroom remodels are probably the biggest questions I get, or not so much question, the biggest withdrawals, why people are taking out money are kitchen and bathroom remodels. And when you go through this situation, you understand that there's going to be stuff that's going to happen that you're not prepared for. It's just the way it works. It's what's going to happen.
Regardless, though, we're not here to tell you what to spend your money in. We're here to help you protect it, help you invest it, help you retire on it, help you make it last as long as possible. But if you want to spend money on remodeling your house and a $100,000 man cave in your basement, do it. Live your life, live your best life, YOLO.
Yeah.
You know? One thing we learned in the very beginning, I can't stress this enough. If you're under a remodel, no matter what, there are three things that you want. You want it to be cheap, you want it to be good, or you want it to be fast.
Yeah.
There's no way to get all three.
No, you have to compromise.
So if it's cheap, there's no way it's good. If it's fast, there's no way it's cheap. And if it's good, there is no way it's cheap or fast.
Yeah.
You cannot get all three. So if you're going into a home remodel with expectations of like roses and rainbows shooting out of every crevice of your house, good luck, because it's not going to happen.
No, it's more like tears, some devastation. Depression.
Yes. Believe me, we get it. Whenever money is tight and you're trying to get this done and you're living in a construction zone, you have people coming in and out of your house. You know, we've had construction on the weekends. We've had construction after 5 o'clock. We have people showing up at our house. This literally just happened, and I don't want to knock it because, granted, I'm so glad they were there at 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
But they came in and like literally grabbed a jackhammer.
Yes.
And we're still in bed.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, my favorite out of all of this that's going on right now, because we're getting our bedrooms redone. So we actually have our mattress on the floor in our laundry room. And it's a very thick mattress. And, all of this is done and they're just about to wrap it up. But now all of a sudden, our washing machine decided to leak on the floor, which I saw as a big puddle coming at my mattress, which was going to ruin my mattress that was already on the floor. So you just have to kind of move with it and expect stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that we haven't addressed that. So I just said, we're not going to wash clothes until after we come back from this trip and we'll figure it out.
Yeah. On top of that, because of the bedrooms and bathrooms, we're using, the showers and toilets and stuff on the other side of the house that we don't use that often. Roto-Rooter has already come out to fix that issue, which was another added expense that isn't even related to us doing the remodeling. It's on the other side of the house, but it's something that we didn't know was an issue because we never use that side of the house. It's, the living room, bathroom. It's
guest
the
toilets,
the guest stuff. And it's just something that we didn't know was an issue.
Yeah.
So we know all about the remodeling nightmares, and we're going to share some tips and tricks with you guys today. Right after we come back, we're going to take a quick break. But in the meantime, if you haven't met with us and you want an appointment with a financial advisor who can help you understand the best thing to do, if you're making decisions about a remodel, how to do it financially the best way, you can give us a call. It'll just take 45 minutes to 2 hours for you to understand everything and have a solid financial plan. You can do that before we come back. See you in just a moment.
Everything kind of fell into my lap. I'd like to say that this job actually picked me. I didn't pick it. I answered a job ad off Craigslist, and one thing led to another, and I found myself doing retirement. I was going to school in New York City. After that, I did join the military. Still didn't really know what I wanted to do. When I got out of the military, I started working for a company called RX America, doing Medicare Part D prescription drug plans. That led me into a marketing position with insurance where I started to learn a little bit about the business. When I started, I just noticed that a lot of people needed help, and I liked the aspect of, helping them. And it seemed if I didn't know the answer to a question at first, I knew the outlet and the sources to find out the answers so I could become that person. And I tell everybody, the employees of the federal government actually taught me how to become a financial advisor because the questions they asked me built who I am today. The most rewarding part is definitely helping people. My human nature is to be kind and help people. That's just the way I'm built. So I get joy out of knowing that I've helped people. And you can tell by the look on somebody's face if they didn't know what was going on when you walked in their home, and then you leave and they're all smiles and happy and relaxed, and you understand that they understand what's going on now. I feel like I'm leaving somebody with a little bit more hope and definitely a plan.
Welcome back to Our 2 Cents. I'm your host, Clinton Smith, and I'm here with our financial advisor, GCES, Galen Barterstock. So Galen, we're talking about remodeling nightmares. And you and I know firsthand about this. You know, remodeling is not just an expense, it's mentally taxing, physically taxing with all the extra work you have to do. There's so many different variables that go into remodeling. So we're gonna break it down for you, some tips that we learned before you break ground.
Yeah. I mean, we've been under so many projects. I think our dogs know the different people in town that are going to come to work on our house. You know, it's nice. You know, our
dogs learn from a very young age that they can get treats and cookies off of guys working at our house when they eat lunch.
Yeah. It's hilarious. You know, but you know, one of the things about these remodels and stuff, you have to think of it, financially, what is this going to do? So one of the things that I love about when we are actually going through a remodel project is when it's done. It's that feeling that you walk through the new space and the new space is, elegant, or it's uplifting your lifestyle. It's making your life better in some way. So financially, what is that doing for you? Well, that is also increasing the value of your home. It is increasing your net worth. So you have to make considerations in the financial aspect of, is this the appropriate thing for me to do right now to help build my net worth? Because we've doubled down and tripled down on our house, and we've done some stuff that we knew we were not going to get the money back out of, but we still wanted to do it anyways. And that's kind of like, you have to consider, what is this going to do? What's the outcome?
And that's probably different for a lot of people. Some people are probably in their homes looking to make it into an investment opportunity, looking to sell it later. We know that we're not going to end up getting the money back in our house that we put into it, but we also want to live in a nice house that we enjoy what it is. So we're not going to tell you to not, put a $100,000 man cave in your basement. We'll tell you the best way to do it and where to get that money from in your investments.
And if you're local, we probably can give some referrals of where to go to for, handyman work.
Yeah, if you're looking for a good contractor, the number one thing before breaking ground that I want to bring up is getting multiple estimates. It is so important to not just get multiple estimates, but also get multiple estimates from people and let them know that you're doing that. I like to say that it's a mind game, but it totally is. If they know that you are only getting one estimate from that one particular person, the price is going to rise no matter what.
Yeah. And as we were remodeling our house at the beginning, it was cheaper, the quotes and stuff we were getting. And then as the house was getting nicer and nicer, the price tags of what we wanted kept on going up because the value of our home was,
Yeah. Well, not only that, people are also looking at the house that you live in and price gauging where they think they can get you, just from the very get-go. So it's a known fact, no way that contractors do not take that kind of stuff into consideration. If they're walking into a mansion, their pricing is going to be a little bit different than them walking into a trailer.
100% for sure.
Yeah, so get multiple estimates and definitely play contractors against each other. But not only that, when you get your estimates, there are a lot of things to consider. How deep does that estimate go? Have they looked behind drywall to see what problems may arise from the construction? Because you can get all of these estimates, they can put it down and say it's this amount of money, but whenever they come into it and they find, hey, there's another $10,000 expense that we're gonna have to pay for, that's gonna come out of your pocket. The contractors aren't gonna pay that. And you're also working with these people in your house. You have to have a good relationship with them too. They're there to make money. They need to make money too, but at the same time, you are going to have to pay for any unseen circumstances that are behind the floorboards or behind the drywall.
Yes. I mean, most of the time, if you have a project going on that it is a very large project, you're getting financed to do this. You might be using your line of credit, from your home to do this. So you need to be as close to that quote as possible to accomplish the task you want, because if you're getting that loan and you only have so much available in that line of credit, but now you need $15,000, $20,000 to complete the project, well, what are you going to do? Where's that money going to come from? And a lot of people, think, oh, well, I'll just go into my investments and grab money out of that, take a penalty to accomplish that. So it's very important to actually establish up front what the pricing is going to be, and then automatically assume to yourself $5,000 more. Assume, or whatever the project justifiable price-wise.
I love that he thinks that it's a $5,000 pillow window that you need, but that's because he doesn't do our accounting, ladies and gentlemen.
I have an idea of how much things cost because of the tile and stuff like that, but it is definitely Clinton deals with the contractors. Yeah. I just like the pretty outcome.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
The other thing that you also need to really consider when you're looking into contractors is the scale of the business that you're working with. When we first started out in construction, we were going for the lowest price possible. We were just starting out. We were still in our 20s when we bought our house. Still in our 30s when we bought our house.
Yeah, we were in our 30s.
In our 30s when we bought our house, and we just didn't have the funds available. Do you know what I mean? We didn't have the money to look for a big company that could bring a team of 5 guys and get it done quickly. So that then creates the race of time of having a one-man show who can only do so much stuff by himself and only accomplish so many things.
Correct.
It is so hard. I've seen it with construction, just tiling alone. They'll have somebody mixing the grout, one person laying the tile, another person cleaning up. If you have just one person doing that, he's doing the work of 3 people. Yeah. You're now paying him 3 times as much. So it might be a cheaper quote, but now you're under construction for 6 months rather than 1 or 2.
Yeah.
So when you have that estimate, break it down. And I mean this in like the most ultimate way possible, that it includes every single expense that you have for the project. Because there's a lot of, I know that you probably know this, there are a lot of other things that happen inside of construction, right? So a dumpster is an added expense. If you're doing a lot of tearing stuff down, you're going to need a dumpster. Yep. That comes with a price.
Food expenses. If you're redoing your kitchen, you're not going to have your kitchen for that period of time that you're doing that remodel. So now your food expenses are up because you're eating, I don't know how you're eating. We've done it in, we got very familiar with the Instapot thing.
Yeah. I mean, at one point we didn't have a kitchen, so we were making stuff out of, small appliances. We didn't have a stove. We used our grill a lot during that. So really rolling with the punches is probably the best thing you can do in life in general, but also under a remodel, because stuff is going to happen no matter what. It's difficult to keep everything completely aligned.
Yeah, it's those hidden expenses that, why we're talking about this today, why it's important, because the hidden expenses are the ones that are going to come up on and grab you, catch you off guard, and then maybe rattle you a little bit on your, financial path. But you can definitely bring it all together if you have that plan established.
Yeah. A big thing that I would recommend doing is taking the estimate whenever you get it and actually going into the space that the estimate is for and going line by line and looking around the room and literally go from floor to ceiling or ceiling to floor and really looking at the things that are involved. On your ceiling, are you replacing lights? Are the lights included in that? Are you changing any of the wiring for those lights? On the walls, you have windows, you have outlets, all of which, are you going to replace them? Are you going to put in new outlets? Do you have to rerun wiring for any of those? Do you have to run, getting into a walls of an old house, whenever it was like, they made it out of copper and spit back in the 50s.
To get it in there, yeah.
And now trying to go then and remodel all of that, you can get into a lot more. So that's why you really need to get behind the drywall and really nitpick your estimate.
Yeah, it's just so important to think about these little tiny nuances that are going to make everything make a difference, because you also might be working with your handyman or whoever's doing the project doing things. Like, I remember when your mom was doing her remodel, she actually stoned her, the carport, and she did a great job, but she did that herself. That's an expense that she took away from them to help save money and get the outcome. But that's also going to take time from you. And if the project.
I remember it was my parents' remodel was that's probably the most exhausted I ever seen my mom out there trying to put up Apple Ridge stone all on her own. And it's something that's going to happen to all of us if we're going to remodel. I mean, you could just move out of your house and move into someplace else, but a lot of people that are watching this are going to remodel and understand the pain that we're talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
We're not just here to talk about remodeling nightmares. We actually help employees, federal employees, anyone that has investments or is going towards retirement understand what they have for retirement. It's free of charge for you to have a financial review with Galen Bargerstock or one of our financial advisors. Just give a call to the screen. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back in just a moment.
Right now, thousands of federal employees are facing job cuts, uncertainty, and financial instability.
We've seen it before. One day you have a steady career and the next day your position is gone.
If you're a federal employee, the question isn't what if, it's are you ready?
And honestly, most people aren't, and that's the biggest mistake you can make.
Your TSP, your benefits, your future. If you don't have a plan, you're already behind.
Do you know what happens to your TSP if you lose your federal job? Should you do a rollover? Should you make a withdrawal? Or should you do nothing?
At GCES, we've helped thousands of federal employees since 2010. We know the ins and outs of the TSP, FEGLI, and federal benefits.
If job cuts are coming, don't wait until it's too late. Let's make sure your future is secure no matter what happens next. When you think about retirement planning, does it sometimes feel like operation procrastination? Don't let life get in the way. You can give your retirement a tune-up today.
There's ins, there's outs, there's ups, there's downs. But when you take control of your finances and retirement, you're making the choice to take advantage of the pros and not the cons. Knowledge is power, and when you understand your retirement, you become the one in control.
No matter where you are in the retirement planning process, we are here to help you. Call today for your own retirement tune-up. Welcome back, everyone, to Our 2 Cents. I'm here with Galen Bargerstock, our president and financial advisor at GCES. We're talking all about remodeling nightmares.
Yeah.
We've lived through it, guys. There are definitely people watching this show that have lived through it that understand the level of depression that can come from trying to perfect your home spaces.
Yeah.
But honestly, guys, the benefit of what it is like to live in a space that you want can really help change your happiness, your mental well-being by surrounding yourself.
Yeah, and a lot of time when people are actively looking for a home to live in, they're accepting that they're going to do some construction along the way to get a little bit cheaper of a property that has the potential to be a lot more expensive. So people come into it as an investment most times. So, remodels, Lowe's, Home Depot, everybody's in business because we want to remodel.
And I know that, there are different places for different people in life. Regardless, having a solid financial plan really helps you make these decisions. We've all watched episodes of House Hunters, hopefully at this point. I don't know how some people have like a budget of 1.2 million when they're a part-time like kindergarten teacher and like selling stuff on Etsy. I love House Hunters.
It is questionable. Yeah. And I actually, part of the reason we bought our house is because I would watch all of those shows thinking that maybe I could be handy and do some of that stuff, but no, it turns out I'm not handy. I've tried a few projects, but it didn't work out.
Galen is notorious for watching shows that do not fit his current state of mind. He will like to go on diets and then watch cooking shows, which I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, well, it fills the time.
So during the project, let's talk about some things that you should consider during your project, right? You've already decided on an estimate, you've broken ground, people are now in your house. Stay out of their hair.
Yes.
Is the biggest thing I can recommend to do, but not for long, because you want to stay out of their hair because as they ask you stuff, you're going to walk around your house. You already have agreed upon estimate. You already have a list of things that they're going to do for you. Then you get to walking around your house. And this is why I said earlier, make sure you're really picking apart your estimate and that everything you want to do is included in it. Because if not, right out of the bat, you're now doing more. And we are notorious for this. Ask any of our contractors. We will start out with like 5 things to do. And then the next day we have 10 and the following day, 15 things to do. So really go through your estimate, make sure it's correct, but then whenever you're in the project, don't keep adding stuff.
No, don't keep adding stuff. And I am notorious to add stuff. Just from talking to them, they'll say, oh, well, what if we would do this? And you might change it. And I'm all for it, you know? So
Yeah.
I get manipulated into changing stuff and adding stuff in. I mean, I know for a fact one thing right now that I did ask to get done on top of the project that still wasn't done, and I just keep it to myself because I don't want to waste the money or the mental aggravation to go over it again.
It's funny. It's actually because I told them not to listen to Galen because he's not allowed to make decisions about the house remodel.
Yeah.
And this is probably the same for a lot of other couples that are watching this show. There's one person that is in charge of this and there's one person in charge of that. And it's really just based off of who is available. You're constantly meeting with federal employees. You're driving all over the country to meet with federal employees. I'm the one that's at the house all the time taking care of the remodel project. So I know the scope of what's involved. And I also, too, I've done it a lot now where I know what to look for because we've been remodeling so much that I know, hey, we're going to have to replace wiring before we even get in the walls.
Correct. And I also, at this point, know that they are not allowed to talk to me. I am fully aware of what's going on. I'm not aloof to the fact that they don't listen to me. It's just I really want that urinal to flush, and it runs when it does.
Yeah.
When we flush it. So.
And
Can't
also
help it.
too, Galen is also, I've learned this, give them something, hey Galen, why don't you pick out the tile out of these two choices, both of which I'd be fine with, but letting him make a choice really makes him feel like he's involved.
Right, yeah. Glad to be involved.
Yeah, be prepared for setbacks. That's another thing that you should do during the time that you are remodeling. If you have a budget in mind, leave yourself a little wiggle room. Do not stretch it to the very end. If you have a $10,000 budget, maybe leave another $2,000. If you have a $50,000 budget, maybe only use 45 of it. Depending on the scope of your project really is going to help you determine how much it is that you really are going to need to have set aside.
Yeah, and I think that the biggest thing out of all of this, financially, is just know what you have going on, know what you want to happen, and accomplish it, and also talk about it with me. If I'm your financial advisor does want to know more about your life, and we've probably been through some of this stuff. So it's not just financial advice. We can give advice on other life events as well, because while we might not have dealt with it, I'm sure one of my clients has asked me that question before, and I'm able to address it with you and maybe steer you in the right direction, on the right path.
So guys, we're going to let you go until next week. Thank you so much for watching Our 2 Cents. The last thing I want to leave with you guys before we let you go is that whenever you're finishing up that remodeling project, you're about to walk into an amazing space. It's going to improve your life. But one thing you do not want to do is do not write that check before they are done. Do not give them that final check. They will be gone. See y'all next week.